What is up, everybody? Welcome to the Game Night YouTube channel. In today's video, guys, I have a new Mint 10 game coming at you. This one is called Deck 52 Final Bus. It was created by Alexei Aparin. He's the same person that created Deck 52 Space Wrecked, which I have covered on the channel and done several playthroughs of. Be sure to go check that one out too if you're interested. But he's back with a new one, guys, in the Deck 52 series. This one is called Final Bus, and this is going to be a good video, guys. I played the game a couple times off camera. It does remind me quite a bit of Deck 52 Space Wrecked, but it's definitely different. It's got its own little unique flavor to it. So we're going to hop right into this and check out everything you're going to get in the game, and we'll do a quick little playthrough of the game so you could see exactly how the game flows. So this is everything you're going to get right here, guys. You've got the tin right here, and as you can see, we have emptied it out. All of the contents of the tin is right here on the table. You're going to get a little colorful cube to track your progression through the campaign mode. And then you're also going to get this little D6 right here that you'll use for some different things during the game. And then you're going to get a bunch of cards, as you can see up this way. We'll go over those in a minute. And you're also going to get these two little accordion style rule books right here. So we'll set those off to the side for now. And we'll set the tin off to the side as well. And then you've got all of your cards up this way. So you've got this little deck of cards right here. This is actually going to be part of the exploration cards here. And as you can see on the back, it's got like a little building symbol on like a street sign. So you know that that's what cards those are. And they would normally go in this deck right here. But you'll notice that there's a little red skull up in the top left corner of these cards. And if you're playing just the regular single player mode that's not the campaign mode, you're going to remove these from the deck before you start playing. So I've gone ahead and done that already. We have these over here. Also, these are like threat level cards that you'll use only during the campaign as well. So both of these sets of cards right here, we're not going to use in today's video because we're not going to be doing the campaign mode. We're just going to be doing like the regular one-shot mode. Next up, you've got your bus right here. So this is what you're traversing the city with, is your bus card right here. This is where everything is going to start. You've got a health card right here. And then you've also got this other card right here. It's a status card to show whether you're tired or if you're rested. And then we've got the exploration cards over this way. These are the different locations that you're going to be visiting. They've got a farm, a hospital, a junkyard, a tunnel, so on and so forth. So a bunch of little locations that you're going to be exploring as you play through the game. Then you've got your deck of objective cards here. So there's several objective cards. There are 8 different ones. Some objectives might be to find fuel, to find food, to find water. And then there's some other interesting ones, like you have to resolve 9 map cards with the scouting objective or with the pathfinding objective. You have to resolve a map card 4 cards away in a straight line from the bus, which all of that will make more sense soon enough. So there's your different little objectives right there. And then you've got your deck of hero cards here. You've got Dad. You've got the Boy. You've got a Raider card. You've got Doc and the Cop. So there we go. They all have 3-letter names, which is pretty interesting. So those are the characters right there, except for the Raider, of course, which is not a playable character. That's something else that I think you only run into during the campaign, if I'm not mistaken. There we go. And then last but not least, you've got your loot deck over here. So you've got quite a bit of loot in this game. Definitely way more than in Space Wrecked, in Deck 52 Space Wrecked. So you've got several things. You've got a flashlight, you got a key, a grenade, a fire axe, a survivor's note, a revolver, tools. It's like a big wrench. You got anti-raid medication, a shotgun, and a med kit right there. So those are all your different loot cards right there. So guys, the basic premise of the game, we'll go ahead and jump right into it here. It says Deck 52 Final Bus. A short and furious war has wiped civilization from the face of the earth, and you remain alive. You found a miraculously preserved bus in which you now travel the dangers of the radioactive wastelands. You're heading to a safe haven you've heard about on Deck 52, a looping radio broadcast. Now stuck in an unknown territory, you must collect vital resources to continue on your way. So that is the little synopsis of the game to kind of set the stage and the tone and theme of the game. You're in like a post-apocalyptic world, and you're scavenging for resources in order to survive. The game takes roughly 30 minutes or less to play. It is a one-player game, and it's for ages 12 and up. So the first thing we're going to do is get into the setup. So you're going to remove the map cards with the red skull icon and shuffle the rest of the map cards into a deck. So we've already gone ahead and removed all of these red skull icon cards here. We're going to set those off to the side. It's worth noting too that if you want to make the game more difficult, you can take any number of these and shuffle them into that little deck right there. And that'll just add to the difficulty of the game. Also, you're going to end up doing the same thing when you play the campaign mode. These cards will come into play more during the campaign mode. So for now, though, we're just going to set these off to the side as we won't be using them. And then we're going to take the rest of the cards and shuffle those up. So we'll get the map cards shuffled up here. And once again, these are like the different locations that you're going to explore in this little map deck. There we go. Got those nice and shuffled up. Cool. The next thing you're going to do is shuffle the objective deck, and then you're going to draw 3 objective cards and place them face up. So let's go ahead and do that. Give the objective deck a quick little shuffle, and then we're going to draw 3 of them. Okay, so our first objective is to find water. We're going to have to find some water. Then we need to find fuel, and last but not least, we've got the scouting objective where we need to resolve 9 map cards. Okay, so those are our 3 objectives. If at any point we complete all 3 of these objectives, we have won the game. That is our main goal, is to complete those 3 objectives. Next up, we're going to shuffle the hero deck, and then we're going to draw a hero card out, and if we redraw, or if we draw the raider, we're going to redraw. So you cannot play as the raider. So let's shuffle this up and draw. Okay, cool, we got dad. Now, just to reiterate, had we drawn the raider, you have to just shuffle them back in and draw again. Might even be best to just remove that from the deck before you shuffle and draw. That way you don't keep drawing it and have to reshuffle. There we go. So we got Dad. That is our character. And you can see he's got some text on the card. So he's got an ability, and then he's got like a sort of like a detriment that is always active. So the ability is called Crafty. It says you can resolve any map card and ignore all its effects. That is really cool. But then it says Old Bones, -1 to rolls if 5 or more map cards are resolved. And the minimum of your roll can only ever be 1. So if you roll a 1, you can't go down to 0. You'll always only roll a 1. But yeah, you're going to get -1 to your rolls if there are 5 or more map cards resolved. I guess to sort of symbolize like you've traveled quite a ways already, and he's an older guy, so he's got those old bones, and any more rolls that you make after that, he's going to be kind of pooped. He's going to be worn out, so he's going to get -1 to his rolls. But on the flip side of that, we've got that crafty ability, which says that we can resolve any map card and ignore all of its effects. So that is really, really cool stuff. Kind of balances it out. The next thing we're going to do is place the health tracker card and then place the status card with the rested side face up. So we're going to grab these right here. So this is your health card. You've got 6 hearts on it, as you can see. So every character is going to start with 6 health. And then you're going to take the status card with the rested side face up and place that down here below the hearts, just like so. Cool. The next thing we're going to do is shuffle up the loot deck, and then we're going to draw 2 loot cards, and those are going to go into our inventory. So let's shuffle up the loot deck, and we're going to get 2 loot cards to start with. Let's see what we get. We got the tools. Cool. And we got a shotgun. All right. So these items are going to do different things. This will make more sense once we actually start playing, so we'll hold on to those for now and then use those when the time is right. Cool, so we drew the loot cards, and then the next thing you're going to want to do is place the bus card in the middle of your playing area, and you're going to want to have a space so you can have about a 6x6 area, roughly. It doesn't have to be that, but that's, you know, that's probably like the preferred area of play. It doesn't have to be that, though. And then these cards right here for the threat levels, again, these are only used during the campaign, so we're going to set those off to the side. There we go. So here we go. We are now set up and ready to play. So we've got all of our stuff set up over this way. We've got our bus over here in our main play area. And this is where you're going to be building up the map using the map cards to explore through the town in your bus here. So now we're going to get into the game flow. So as mentioned earlier, the game can be played as a single mission, which is what we're going to do in today's video, or you can play as a series of missions, which is the campaign mode. So you're going to win a mission when you resolve all 3 objective cards, as mentioned, and you'll lose a mission if you cannot win or the hero dies. So if you ever come to a position where there are certain map cards out and you cannot progress anymore if you don't have the right items, or it will lead to you going down to 0 health, you lose the game. All right, so you can't only lose just from losing your health. You can get locked out too if you can't progress, depending on what map cards are out in play, which is kind of cool. I think that's pretty cool. So play is going to start at the bus card. So here's our bus card right here. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to look at the card. It says 3 and it's got this little gold like diamond symbol right here and then a check. So there are a bunch of little icons in the game, and fortunately the game comes with this nice little accordion style rulebook here that shows you all of the different icons right here. There are a lot of them. So you'll get pretty used to them once you start playing. I'm still getting used to it because I've only played a couple times off camera. But yeah, I could see this getting, pretty easy once you've played through it a few times. So anytime you see that little gold diamond like that, that means to explore. So it says you may draw a map card and, if possible, place it face up and adjacent, not diagonal, to the card you are resolving. So that's what we're going to do. So it's 3, and then it's got that little symbol. So we're going to draw 3 map cards, and we're going to place it adjacent to the bus. So 1, 2, and 3. And then it's got that gold check mark. And the gold check mark means that you have resolved the card. So you flip the card face down to show that you resolved it. So we'll go ahead and flip our bus over, and boom. So now we can decide, where do we want to head to in our bus? Do we want to go over here and investigate this truck? Do we want to go to the bunker? Or do we want to go to the warehouse? So now we have options. We can kind of choose like which way we want to go. But before we do that, we're going to talk real briefly about the hero card. So we've got our hero over here. We've talked about him a little bit. So you can use that ability. This ability right here for our dad character is called Crafty. You can use that anytime you want to. And if you do, you have to flip over your status card. And as a result of using that ability, your character becomes tired. So you would flip your rested status card over to the tired side like this. And then, of course, their disadvantage, which is this down here, the old bones for the dad, that is always active. That's just going to constantly be active during the whole game. And the way that you flip this over from the tired side back to the rested side is you're going to have to find a location that has got a particular icon on it. And it's like a little, looks like a little metronome almost. It's like a little golden triangle, and it says rest. A hero may rest if tired, and then you flip the status card. So you'll have to find a location where you can actually hunker down and rest in order to flip that card back over. So you can't just go using your ability willy-nilly. I mean, you can use it whenever you want to, but once you use it, you're going to be tired and you're going to have to find a place to rest. So you're going to want to use it sparingly and use it when it's the right time. And then the bottom portion of the hero card here, it's got this little red blood drop. You're actually going to use that whenever you take damage to cover up hearts on your health meter here. So for each damage you take, you just move that down to show how much health you have left. And then also for your card down here, your status card, you're going to do the same thing, but for radiation. So you'll notice this symbol down here is like a little biohazard symbol where that one's a blood drop. So that's going to be for health. That's going to be for radiation. So anytime you take radiation damage, you're going to do the same thing, but move it up on here to show how much life you have remaining. So you've got 2 different ways that you can take damage, through just straight up physical damage or through radiation right there. Cool. So now we're going to talk about playing the map card. So you can only play face up map cards. So you can only choose to go to a location that is face up. Once it's face down, obviously, you can't choose to go to it anymore. It has been resolved. And you're going to have to choose the option that works best for you, A or B. So you'll notice on these cards, there's a first option, and then it says or, and then there's a second option. So you get to choose which one of those you want to resolve. You don't have to resolve both of them. Some will only have one that you resolve, so obviously you just do that one, but a bunch of them, most of them, have 2 different options that you can pick, so you get to choose which one you want to do. And then if the option has like a bunch of little icons, which most of them do, you're going to go from left to right, resolving the icons. So you always start at the left and then go one at a time and move to the right and resolve all of the icons until the card is complete. This isn't going to come into play as much if you're just doing the one-shot mode like we're doing. It's going to come more into play if you're doing the campaign. But yellow cards, you can play yellow cards if it's only yellow cards out in play. If there's an orange card out in play, like if we go through these, like let's say that we were playing the campaign mode and this card was out there, we would have to prioritize this card before we can go to the yellow cards. And same thing if there's a red card. If there's a red card out there, you have to go to the red card first, then the orange, then the yellow. So they kind of take priority. It's like a bigger threat. Whenever you're playing just the regular one-shot mode like we're playing, there's actually no orange cards in the map deck, and there's only one single red card in the map deck. Actually, I think we had that one right there. Yeah, there we go. And this goes over here. So yeah, so that's not going to come up as often, but if that red card is out in play, you're going to have to interact with that card before you can go to the other cards. And once that card is resolved, of course, you flip it face down. And that goes for all the map cards. Once you resolve a card, you flip it face down, and it stays face down until the end of the mission. Next up, we've got the loot cards. So these cards are going to help you in battle. They'll restore your health, or they'll fulfill some of the requirements of the map cards, like if you need to find water or fuel, in our case right here, or, you know, food or anything else like that. And to use one of those cards, you just choose one of the two options, and then you do all of the included actions. So much like these map cards over here, it'll give you an option, and then it'll say or, and then it'll have something else. For instance, like with the tools, you can use the tool icon to interact with, like for the truck, if you use the tool icon here, you could use that card for that. Or you could re-roll a die and then send it back to the loot deck. So it's got a couple different options for it there. Same thing with the shotgun. And that is pretty much it for the loot cards. Very, very self-explanatory. Another good thing to mention about the loot, you can only have 5 loot in your inventory. You cannot exceed 5 loot in your inventory. And then moving on to the objective cards, as mentioned a couple times already, you have to resolve all 3 of the objective cards in order to win a mission. And if you're not able to do that, you lose the game. And guys, that is pretty much it. So we're going to go ahead and hop into it. As mentioned, there is the campaign mode. The campaign mode is going to be a little bit different. I guess I can just mention those rules real quick for you in case that is something that you're interested in. We're not going to be doing it in today's video, but maybe in the future I'll start a little series on this game, and we can try to go through a campaign mode. That would be really fun. But just to give a brief overview of it, it's an optional game mode, and it's a sequence of missions rather than this one single mission like we're doing today. And it's going to come with a little map. As you can see here, it's part of this card right here. You can just fold it down and use the map. There's a start right here where you'll put your cube, and you're trying to make it up here to this spot where it says deck 52, and all along the way there are little nodes that you have to stop at, and some of them have numbers which are going to correspond to different threat levels as you're moving along the map. So you lose the campaign if you lose all of your heroes. So you're going to have access to all of the heroes as you're playing through the campaign. And to move the token to a new location, you must play a mission and succeed in it by resolving all 3 objectives. So every time, let's say you start here and you do all 3 missions and you succeed, then you move to the next node. If you do all 3 missions, then you get to choose, do you want to go there or do you want to go up that way? And you're trying to make your way all the way to the deck 52 node at the end of the map there. That's like your safe haven. Yeah, so if your hero dies, which if you go below 1 health, you go down to 0 health, or if you fail the mission by failing to finish all 3 of the objectives there, you fail the mission, and then you discard your hero card, and they're considered dead. If you can't resolve all 3 objectives, you're going to fail the mission, and you're also going to return 2 of your inventory cards into the loot deck, or discard 1 hero. So you would either lose 2 of your loot cards, or you'd have to discard another hero. And then each time you start a new mission, you're going to shuffle 1 more random skull map card into your map deck. So those were the cards, as mentioned earlier, the ones that we removed that have the skulls. Each time you start a new mission, you're going to shuffle one of these into the map deck. So it's going to get progressively more difficult as you move through the campaign, which is really, really neat. And it'll be different each time too, because you're shuffling in random cards, which is really, really cool. And then also you're going to reset your hero's health and their rested status. So they'll go back to being rested and they'll get full health in between missions. And then you can choose a hero if there are others in your crew. So you don't have to stick with the same hero that you chose in the beginning. You can actually choose one of the other heroes, granted that they're still part of your crew and you haven't had to discard them from previous failed missions during the campaign. Also, you're going to start with any obtained inventory cards from a previous mission, including food, water, and fuel. So you get to keep all of your inventory as you move forward into new missions. And if there are unresolved objective cards, you're going to shuffle them into the objective deck and draw 3 new objectives. So if for whatever reason you have any unsolved objective cards, in between missions, you're just going to take all your objective cards, shuffle them into the deck, and you're going to draw 3 new ones to have a brand new mission each time. And then finally, if your token is standing on a numbered location, you're going to take the corresponding threat card as a reference. So as mentioned, there's these little stars with numbers on them. So let's say that you were on this one right here with the 4, and you're on that node. that's where these extra cards right here come into play. And then you would look for the one that has 4, threat 4, Dust Storm. So this would stay in play, and you'd have to deal with the Dust Storm threat during this mission while you're there. So that adds some extra little thematic difficulties to the campaign, depending on what node you're on and what difficulty or threat level you're on. So again, we're not using those today because we're not playing the campaign, but that is the campaign mode. So look forward to that in the future. I'm sure I'll be giving that a shot at some point, and we'll try to see how far we can get in the campaign. But today, we're going to get into this this single one-shot play right here, guys. So we've got everything set up. We've gone over all the rules. You guys pretty much know how to play now, but, you know, I'm a kinesthetic learner. I like to see things in action, you know what I mean? So hopefully that's going to help you guys too. Let's actually play through the game right here and actually see it in action, so you can really, really learn how to play by observing it. So here we go, guys. We can choose which of these directions we want to go. Since we're in our bus here, so we can go to the truck, the bunker, or the warehouse. Now we're looking over here. I've got my tools and I've got the shotgun, and I'm noticing right here at the truck, we can use the tools in order to complete this truck option right here, the second option at the truck. So I think I want to do that. So we're going to take our tools, and they're going to go on the bottom of the loot deck, like so. And we're left with our shotgun. And now we're going to complete this part of the truck. So it's got a little crate or a little box icon. That means that we get to draw 1 loot. So we're going to rummage around the truck, and let's see what we find in it. We find some anti-raid. So what this is going to do is it's going to remove 2 of the radiation from us if we ever get radiation. It's got 2 and then a heart with the biohazard symbol. So if we had 2 radiation and we use the anti-raid, we could heal that 2 radiation off of us. And then the X means that the card gets discarded and it goes back into the loot deck. And let's just double check to make sure that it goes on the bottom of the loot deck. So yeah, the golden X, return this card. Return this card to the bottom of the corresponding deck. Yeah, exactly. So after you would use this, it would go on the bottom of the loot deck. Cool. So we found some anti-raid in the truck. There's also a little symbol right here, a blue symbol of a fuel canister. That means that we found fuel. So you can either use the fuel to complete the objective if you have the fuel objective, which we do, or if we didn't, you could go through the objective deck, or maybe not even if you didn't. I think you could choose. You don't have to do this, but you can go through the objective deck and you can find fuel, and then you would take the fuel card out, flip it upside down, and then you would set it over this way with your loot to show that you actually have fuel, and you'll be able to use that for certain cards over here, or certain map cards. But in this case, since we do have an objective is to find fuel, we're just going to go ahead and take this, and we're going to flip it upside down to show that we have completed that objective. So we have 2 more objectives to complete. And then next up, we've got the little golden diamond right here. That means that we have to explore and take a new map card and flip it over and then place it adjacent to the truck. So we can either place it below it, above it, or to the side, but you cannot place it diagonally. So I'm going to place it down here below it, I think. Yep, we're going to place it down there below it. And then last, it's the golden check mark, which means that we have resolved the card. So we could flip the truck over and we're done resolving it. So now we can go to any one of these face-up cards here. Let's see. If we go to the junkyard, now we can't interact with this. The star with the number, that's only for the campaign mode. So we really only have one option here. That is to get 1 radiation. So it's got that little red biohazard symbol right there. That would mean that we would take 1 radiation if we go investigate the junkyard. I don't really want to do that, but we don't have many other options either. Yeah, we don't really have any other options because we need a key or a grenade to go into the warehouse. We don't have that. And then we would need a flashlight or water to check the bunker, and we don't have that, which is not good. So I think we have to go to the junkyard. So we're going to get some radiation on us. 1 radiation. We're down to 5 health. You know what we could do too? We have crafty. We could resolve any map card and ignore all of its effects. Maybe we do that. Maybe instead of going to the junkyard, let's do crafty and resolve. Ooh, what do we want to resolve? Let's resolve the bunker. We're going to flip the bunker. Yeah, we're going to complete. Ooh, now do we actually get anything from that? Resolve any map card and ignore all of its effects. See, now I'm not entirely sure how that would help us in this situation because we're going to ignore all of its effects and we wouldn't add anything else to it. Maybe that helps if you're fighting an enemy. It probably helps if you're fighting an enemy. Okay, we're going to go to the junkyard. We're going to go to the junkyard. We're going to take that 1 radiation. And then we're going to look at this little symbol right here. So this means that we have to take 2 of our loot cards, send them back to the loot deck, and then draw a loot card. So as you can see, it shows over here on our little icon folio. If it's got the little 2 arrows and then the black arrow underneath, you must trade any 2 of your loot cards for 1 card of your choice from the loot deck and shuffle the deck. So it's actually of our choice. So we're going to take these 2 cards, we're going to send them back to the loot deck, and we get any card of our choice. I think I kind of want to get the key. Yeah, let's get the key so that we can head over to the warehouse. So we'll grab the key. We're going to shuffle up the loot deck. Okay, place that back up here. And now we've got the key in our inventory. And then next up, it's got 2 and the exploration symbol. So we're going to take 2 map cards, and I'm going to put, we got the mad robot, and we'll put the other one down here. This is the farm. And then we have completed this card. So we're going to flip it over. We've resolved it. Now, as mentioned earlier, if there's ever a red card out in play, you have to resolve that one before you do the orange or yellow cards. So we have to resolve the mad robot. So this might be kind of gnarly. Also, we have to remember, if 5 or more map cards have been resolved, we have the old bones disadvantage over here, but we've only resolved 2. So I think we are good so far. Okay, so we're not going to get that -1. Should we do crafty, resolve any map card and ignore all of its effects? I'm assuming we can do that. I think I'm going to do that to the mad robot. Alexi, if you're watching the video and you can't do that, please let us know. But I'm assuming that because this is a map card and we've got the crafty ability here, Dad can get pretty crafty, dude, and he can just go ahead and he does something. I don't know, maybe he wraps duct tape around the legs of the mad robot and trips it up and it falls over. And it's just spinning in circles on the ground, and he takes off running, and we resolve the mad robot. I'm going to go with that. I'm going to go with that. That makes Dad extremely powerful if that's the case. Now, of course, if you're playing the campaign mode, that's not the only bad guy you're going to run into. There's also another one in the deck. I think it's some kind of like dogs. It's like a pack of dogs. But you could also run into a chimera or a mutant or a horde of zombies. So, yeah, once you use that ability, there's still going to be other things you can run into during the campaign. So we're going to take our status card and flip it over to the tired side now that we've used our crafty ability. He's pooped out from running in circles and wrapping all that duct tape around the legs of the robot there. Okay, now we can decide if we want to go to the bunker, the warehouse, or the farm. Since we picked up the key, we're going to the warehouse, and as you can see right here, if we've got the key, we can do option B on the warehouse card. So we're going to go ahead and use the key. We're going to put it on the bottom of the loot deck. We're going to unlock the door to the warehouse, head inside, and find a loot, which is a shotgun. Okay, cool. We found another shotgun. And then we found a blue can of food. So that means that if we had that objective, if we needed to find food, we would be able to flip that card over and we would have completed the objective. In this case, we don't have that. So we're going to look through the objective deck and look for food. And wouldn't you know it, there it is right there. We'll flip the card upside down and add that to our inventory. And we now have some food over here in our inventory. And then we get to draw a new map card to explore. And it's the hospital. And then we've got the check mark so we can resolve this card and flip it over. So we've resolved 4 map cards. If we do one more, Dad is going to have his old bones disadvantage kick in, and we're going to be getting -1 to our rolls. At the hospital, we can use a med kit. That's what that little black square with the white plus sign is in it. Or we can use, oh man, the pills I think is the anti-raid, and we got rid of that earlier. Darn, so we can't go that way. We could go to the farm if we take some radiation. We can't go to the bunker because we need either water or a flashlight. So we have to go to the farm. So we're going to take 1 radiation, like so. Then we're going to find some fuel. We don't need any more fuel for our objective. So we're going to go in the objective deck and search for fuel. And then we'll flip the card upside down and add it to our inventory over this way. Hopefully we'll come across a map card where we need either fuel or food to interact with it. Then we're going to grab another map card as we explore here, the tunnel, and it is not looking good, guys. I think we might have just hit a dead end, and then we have resolved this card. So in the tunnel, you need either the grenade or the flashlight. We don't have either of those. At the hospital, we need the med kit or the anti-raid pills. We don't have any of those. And at the bunker, you need either water or a flashlight to interact with it, and we don't have any of those, which means we're locked out of the game and we have lost. So even though we didn't lose all of our health, remember, as mentioned in the beginning of the video, the other way to lose is if you get locked out and you can't progress through the game anymore because you're not able to resolve any of the map cards, and we are stranded. Dad gave it a good shot, man. All of that duct tape wrapping for nothing, dude, but we got somewhere. We at least got a little bit through the town, and you guys got to see enough of the game to understand how it works and see the flow of the game. And of course, if we did have any of those items and we progressed through the game, had we resolved 9 map cards and then found water at one of the locations, we could have got to flip these over. We would have completed all 3 objectives and won the game, but that wasn't the case today. So there it is, guys. Gives us something to look forward to. I like that the game is fairly challenging. You're not going to just automatically win on your first playthrough. You're definitely going to run into scenarios like this. And of course, if you play the campaign mode, that's going to add even more challenge to the game, as you're going to have to go through multiple missions to make your way all the way to the end, all the while adding in new location cards that are going to make the game more difficult, and then dealing with different threats along the way. So there is a lot here outside of just the little one-shot mode that we're playing here, guys. So yeah, great game right here, guys. This is Deck 52 Final Bus. Again, made by the same guy that made Deck 52 Space Wrecked, Alexei Aparin. Amazing stuff, dude. I am absolutely digging this. I cannot wait to play some full playthroughs of the game on the channel and to start the campaign mode. So if that's something that you guys are looking forward to, be sure to hit that thumbs up, like button, and subscribe to the channel, and also hit the bell icon so you can stay notified when all of those new videos are released. And if you want to grab the game, I will grab all the info from Alexei as soon as it's available, and I'll update the description of this video so that you guys have a link that you can go to in order to purchase the game. So there it is, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed. Yeah, there's going to be plenty more to come with Deck 52 Final Bus. Always love to get a new mint in game, and this one is super good. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and until next time, guys, have a good one, and I'll see you in the next video.